Betu washte. Good afternoon. I think it's still morning. Oh my gosh, Yohani washte. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome back. Whether you coming back as your first time, my little teepee here, my little home here on YouTube. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever your day is. I hope it's good. Hope it's treating you right. Better be. If it's not, please be kind and gentle to yourself. Life be life and it be rough. It be rough. I can't stop smiling. My life. I'm going through so much right now emotionally, but at the same time, it's like I just feel so much goodness in my life. Whether it be I get home from work, I get to sit, like lay in my bed, have a nice. I had like a hot tea yesterday, peppermint tea. I put local honey in it, and just like that alone. And then I was reading a book. I'm stuck in the series. What is it? Fourth Wing. I'm on the third one now. It's like Onyx something. Something, but so good. It's so good. And just, I've hit this point and I've worked really hard to make a safe space for my spirit. And that includes like my inner child, my inner teen. And all that work I've done has paid off in the way of I can just be. I can just be present and live life the way I want to. I can come home, read a book, and have some tea, and then paint after, do some writing, sing, dance, shake my butt, and just have fun and live. And those voices have been trying to creep. They've been creeping, and I realized also I haven't been taking care of my spiritual hygiene as much. Like me, personally, I need to do it multiple times a day. Like many times a day. Just keep my spirit, my energy all around me nice and cleansed and clean. When I don't do that, my mental health just starts to. And I've been struggling on my environment. It's telling on me. It's kind of messy, so I cleaned up this morning. I did a nice cleanse. I need to do a deep one again. But that's a given. It's a given. And what is this one? What is this episode about? Dun, 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 dun. People pleasing. That's what it's about. Also channeled song at the same time. So I was going to do this. And then that song came on. I'm like, man, this really intertwines with this video. In the way of, I'm a recovering people pleaser. I have spent majority of my life putting others first, like filling up their cup before even thinking about my cup. And then my cup will be empty and I'm drained. And it turns into all these ugly things. And we, like, as a people pleaser, at least from my point of view, I felt and was taught that, like, if I give and give, I will get some sort of love, whether it be crumbs or whatever, but I have to give everything of me to receive something from the other being or environment or whatever it is. And that's like so deep within my family too, on both sides, both like my mom and my dad, that cycle of just overgiving and being a people pleaser is basically hurting yourself, like mistreating yourself, disrespecting yourself in the way of doing things that you don't want to do. Or when you don't have the energy, instead of saying, I don't have the energy, you do it anyways because of whatever your reasons are. For me, I always was scared. I'm like, well, if I don't do everything this person needs, I don't give them everything they want, they're going to leave me. Or they're not going to give me the little amount of love that I'm like begging for. But then also I'm like to my ancestors crying. I'm like, why can't people just like fill up their own cup so I can fill my own cup up? And I'm not just like emptying myself out. Well, they're not even doing any work with their cup, right? So I'm giving them my cup, pouring into theirs, but they're not doing any work to keep their cup flowing. So when there's empties, I have to refill, right? And that's not our jobs. I don't care how big of a healer, sweet loving being you are, right? You are meant to fill your cup up. Fill it up so much, it's overflowing. And then that saucer is what you share. The energy that's spilling into the saucer is what you share with the beings around you, because they should be doing the same thing and filling up their own cup, doing the hard, difficult work of making a safe space for your spirit and learning what you need, filling up your cup, right? They need to be doing that so it pours into their saucer. So y'all are sharing each other's energy and with your saucers. There, no cup's ever empty, ever empty. But that's a journey in itself. In itself, because even when I knew that, I still just kept doing it because it's a cycle that's rooted so deep within me and also like my ancestors, so deep. Especially the feminine energies in my family, like on my mom's side. We're taught to just always give, 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 give. And it's even in my face now through my family, those cycles, when you don't make a safe space for your spirit and you don't speak up and you're just giving, 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 it comes out in ugly ways of the way you actually feel, right? Because you don't, instead of like someone asking you to do something, instead of because you can't, you don't have the energy, you just don't want to, instead of being like, I don't want to, or I'm exhausted, I can't give that to you right now. And instead of doing that, right, people pleaser will just do it. And in your head, you're like wishing, why can't they just understand I'm tired and all this stuff? Nobody can read your mind. Nobody can read your mind. And that was like a hard thing for me to learn. I'm like, you're right. I wish these people could just understand what I need and me. But right now they obviously don't. And at the same time too, like everyone's in their own life. They're dealing with their own stuff. They're not gonna know unless you say something, right? And I know that's so uncomfortable for a people pleaser that just keeps the peace. But I always think about this. Like, I heard it, I'm not sure the original source of this, but you may be keeping, like, staying silent, maybe keeping the peace around you, right? Everyone around you is at peace because you're being quiet about your feelings and all this stuff. But are you at peace internally? How does your spirit feel when you're not speaking your truth? When you're not being honest with yourself and the people around you and vocalizing that? Are you at peace with yourself? Because like if you are, yes, get it. But I was not. Like I was internally suffering. And like my inner child, my inner teen just want to sob. Because I spent so many years giving so much of me in return of these little crumbs. And also the people around me didn't even know what I needed because I never vocalized it. I never stood up for myself. I never communicated what I actually needed, wanted, my boundaries, anything. So I just like suffering internally and then complaining to my ancestors. I'm like, woe is me. Why does everyone mistreat me? And then they're like, well, do you speak up for yourself? Do you stand up for yourself? And then I was like, boom, like, whoa, y'all are real. And it is real. It is real. And it's like, you wish that the people you love would just understand you, right? But they can't read your minds. Like, unless you got telepathy with them, but still, they can't reach deep into your spirit and know exactly what's going on unless you communicate that, right? And I know it's scary in the way of, you may know internally, like if I vocalize my actual needs and wants and boundaries, there's a huge chance of me losing these people. I understand that all day. But do you want to live a life with these people when you know you can never truly be yourself and truly feel that peace internally around these people? You can love beings, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be in your life for all the seasons, right? Some beings are just meant to be in your life for a certain amount of seasons, to learn lessons, to experience each other, to make the memories, whatever you're meant to have with those beings. But if it hits a point where they no longer align with you, as you are finding your truth and making a safe space for your spirit or spirits, if it comes to a point where you put up these boundaries and it doesn't align with them, they don't respect it, or they're just like, I don't know who you are, this doesn't make sense, well then maybe who you truly are doesn't align with them. And that's okay. And like, it breaks my heart because I've had to let so many beings go and just accept, like, release control, go with the flow, and accept that you can't control other people's journeys, right? You can see their potential and know that they can grow with you if they choose to, but they're the only ones that can decide that for themselves. You can grab them and try to pull them with you, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to go kicking and screaming if they're not ready. If they're doing it for themselves, it's just going to be an ugly, terrible time. It is. Yes. And I've learned the hard way that you cannot force anybody to make a safe space for their spirit or spirits. You just can't. It's your choice to do that for yourself. You can't make nobody else, right? People pleasing. So it hit that point where I was just like super in the victim mentality, and then ancestors were like, oh, and like my spirit team, all kinds of beings, were real with me. They were very real. They're like, what do you contribute to this pain and suffering that's happening to you? And me, what I contributed was my silence. Just quiet. And also too, like, I'd be quiet, but then in an argument with like the beings I love or whatever, I'd bring up past things that I should have vocalized when they were occurring, right? But I was silent. Instead, I like put it in my pocket, held it for later, for when I have like disagreements, arguments, whatever with these beings. I pull it out then, instead of when it's happening and calling them out. That's like an ugly, nasty trait that I am really stopping, because it's just toxic. It hurts the beings around me. It's unhealthy. It hurts me and the beings around me because I'm silent when the mistreatment is happening. And then later on, whenever like I do something wrong, right? I'm being called out. I compare. I'm like, well, you did the same thing. But it was never called out when that person was actually doing that, right? I was silent. So that's something I'm really, like, I've been journaling. I've been so conscious and really breaking, because being quiet doesn't help nobody at all. It hurts everybody in the situation, especially like mine, because then later on it comes out later and not when it was actually occurring, right? Speaking your feelings, especially when you've been taught that like they don't matter, or just to be silent because they don't matter or whatever, is hard. Like, no joke, when I first started vocalizing my feelings, because I started, like, I got so lost, I almost became somebody that I am not, that my spirit is not. And I got a huge wake-up call because I did something terrible to somebody I love. And I'm like, I don't want to be this. This is not who I am. So I had to fight. And like, what brought me to this is not talking, not speaking up, not speaking my truth, and like speaking up for little me and teen me. My whole life I've been taught like I'm not worthy to be protected because of the cycles like my parents, my caregivers went through, got passed down, that like we don't matter, right? So then it got passed down to me, and I was continuing that cycle within myself, within the way I allow other people to treat me, and just not speaking up when I was being mistreated, or when I was overgiving and saying, I'm tired, I can't pull all this weight alone. Instead of doing that, I hurt someone I love. So after that, I was like, I need to change. Like, I have to speak up. Otherwise, I'm going to become somebody that my spirit is not. And I'm going to hurt all the beings around me. And that is not what I want from life at all. So I had to get uncomfortable. Like, if you are a people pleaser, it's going to be so uncomfortable. I was crying. I was crying. My voice was shaking, speaking my truth. Whenever, instead of like keeping the peace, right, being quiet, I would speak, and like it would come out sometimes so messy too. So people around me, I'm like, if I word things wrong or anything, please tell me how you feel, because I'm not trying to be aggressive. I don't even know how to communicate. I don't know how to communicate. I don't know how to human. And for a long time, I'd like put myself down because of that. And then that was putting like my inner child and my inner teen down for not knowing how to communicate in a healthy way. But I was never taught how to communicate in a healthy way. Not in a way of like an excuse where I'm going to continue not communicating in a healthy way just because that's what I've been taught and that's like deep rooted through my ancestors. No. Instead, I'm going to acknowledge that, like with my inner child, my inner teen, and even like face them. No joke. I do this a lot and this helps me. So if you ever want to use this tool, I like look to my inner child, my inner teen in my head, picture them. Little emo, teen Jasa, and then just little happy, loud, weird little Jasa. Little kid Jasa. Turn to them and tell them, it's okay. It's okay, my loves. Like, this is a journey we're going on together. We're going to be a little messy with our speech. And the people that love us unconditionally will be with us. They will understand that we are doing everything possible to learn how to communicate in a healthy way. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be messy. But we're going to keep moving forward. And we're going to make that safe space for like us. So me, my spirit, my inner child, my inner teen. And then all the beings around me. Because if my space is safe, that means it's safe for the other beings around me, right? So just having to like let them know and like, hey, you know what? No matter what happens, when we speak this truth, no matter what these beings say or their actions, I will protect you. And like this is like present me to my younger selves. I will protect you. They may all leave. I will never leave you. I will never leave you. And I'm doing everything in my power to no longer hurt you. To like my inner child, my inner teen. And when I say that, I mean, like, you know, the internal narrative, like your internal voice that just beats you up. Those projections from other people and from the society that colonizers created. Holding on to those in your head and then becoming your own bully and repeating it to yourself, right? Where was I going? I don't know where I was going. Thank you, ADHD. I'm gonna drink some water. Oh, okay. So like turning to them and being like, I will love you no matter what. All these beings can leave. And if they leave, they are no longer aligned with us. Maybe they never were. Like who our true spirit is. Whatever it was with those beings, right? Every being you have, you got different reasons why you meet them and all this stuff. If they leave, I will always be here. Like to your inner child and the inner teen. And you think about it. You're the only one that comes to Uchimaka, Grandmother Earth, like with yourself, right? You and your body. You and your human meat suit. And then when you leave, your spirit or spirits and your human meat suit are the ones that leave. So like learning to love yourself and protect yourself first and fill up your cup first is a necessity. And it takes time. So please don't beat yourself up at all. if you are a like huge people pleaser still. It's okay. It took me years and years of learning how to be kind of gentle to myself, learning little self-care things, like learning when to drink water when I'm thirsty and eat when I'm hungry instead of putting off like what my body needs, what my spirit needs, what my brain needs, like everything. Just slowly learn what you need. Check in with your inner child and your inner teen and see what they need. And if you are so like deep in your cave, right? In your shadows and just feeling everything and not really able to move forward, be kind and gentle to yourself. Like those times are the most important in the way of learning how to be kind and gentle to yourself. You're in no hurry. Divine timing. And I know that's annoying. Like it's very frustrating. I get it. I get it all day. But it's true. It's true. And the more you fight it, just the more painful your days are gonna be. And I say this from experience. I spent like a whole year just beating myself up because I would start creating and then immediately didn't turn into what I wanted it to be. And then I just beat myself up and put myself down and just get back lost into not caring, like not putting my needs first and just going back in those cycles that hurt me, right? It takes time. It takes time. So just please be kind and gentle to yourself. And I want you to know that you deserve to fill up your cup. Because once you do that, your inner child and your inner teen, they're going to be giving you little gifts. Because, well, I guess it depends on person, but for me, my inner child, my inner teen, excuse me, confirmation, felt so unsafe with me because through my life, how much, excuse me, oh my gosh, through my life, how much I mistreated myself in the hopes of others would love me. The times that I would put my needs on the back burner just for some crumb of love, some form of love, some kind of attention. Where was I going with that? Dang it, my brain. I don't remember where I was going. I feel like if I remember while I'm editing this, I'll pop my big ol' head in there and finish my thoughts. Being a people pleaser is just why can't I think of that word? I'm going back to what I was gonna say. Well, what is it? I forgot. Someone, a beautiful being on TikTok shared this, and it's like hurting yourself, but they use a different word because you're not like, you're overextending yourself. You are not living your truth. You are not fully speaking what's on your mind. You are keeping the peace on the outside for the people around you, but internally you are suffering. I want you to sit on that. Like, sit on that because you're suffering and your inner child and your inner teen are suffering. You never deserve that. Ever. Ever. Your inner child, your inner teen, and you always deserved a safe space to be who your spirit or spirits are. Always. You've always deserved that. And unfortunately, the society that's created by colonizers is extremely limiting. It messes our spirits up because it's not made for spirits. It's made for control and colonizers to do their thing and have power or whatever they're doing. Where am I? Anytime I think colonizers, I get so frustrated. Dang, my brain is going everywhere. Oh, we're taught like to squeeze in that box, right? So having to squeeze in this box that colonizers created literally like suppresses our spirit or spirits And a lot of the time we have to put those parts of us like deep down. Oh, that's what I was saying before. My inner child, my inner teen. I took on all of those projections from other people, and I became my own bully so much that like my inner child and my inner teen didn't feel safe with me. But as I started making that safe space, they started to like bring out these little gifts. When I say gifts, I mean like pieces of my spirit that I forgot are a part of me. I forgot, like, I love to read. Oh, I remembered, but then I'm like, maybe I just outgrew it. But that's not it. My inner teen felt so unsafe with me because I kept putting myself down, emotionally abusing the crap out of myself internally for majority of my life. And that alone made my inner child and my inner teen not feel safe with me. And that's also why I had so much internal conflict. But as I started to speak up, no matter how uncomfortable it was, no matter who I lost around me or changed the dynamic of the relationships, whatever, my inner child, my inner teen started to feel safe. And then these pieces started to come back. These pieces of my spirit started to come back to me. And like, that's why I'm here now. And I laugh like loud and goofy with my mouth wide open. I got the indigenous lady laugh where I'm like smacking people while I'm laughing. And as like a teenager, I would literally laugh with like quiet, mouth closed. Sometimes I'd even cover my mouth because my teeth obviously are not straight. And it was projected, that perfection, you need straight teeth and all this stuff. So many things. I limited myself from just living the way I want to live because of others' projections. And that's deeply rooted in the society that colonizers created. And they play in a game of chess real smart. They have planned their steps way ahead. They know what they're doing. So what we gotta do is stop trying to squeeze in that box. That box limits us, hurts us, and the people around us. I know it's gonna be very uncomfortable speaking your truth. And if it takes time, let it take time. Like, even if you first can't say it out loud, but you can journal it, do that. Do whatever little steps you can to start speaking up for yourself. Speaking your truth, because you deserve to speak up for yourself. And I wish the people that were meant to protect you would have done that. So you knew how to do that. So you were taught that you were worthy of being protected and spoken up for. Unfortunately, they're in their own cycles. And most likely, they were taught that their voice doesn't matter either, right? Hurt people hurt people. And whenever I look at all the people that hurt me, it's their deep cycles, and they're literally just hurt people hurting people. I don't say this in the way of they can continue to hurt people because they've been hurt. Nah. If I'm doing the work to not hurt people around me because I'm a hurt person, you can do the same. Anybody can do the same. Rain be going. You deserve to speak up for yourself. It is time. Yes, those people that should have done that for you when you were younger or even now, like, that sucks. Wish they would have done that. But now you get to be that person. Your inner child and your inner teen are very much alive within your spirit or spirits. Even like science now, psychology, my therapist straight up told me there are studies now that show that our spirit, they call like your core source or whatever, is made up in different parts, and like your inner child and your inner teen are each a part of your source, which your spirit or spirits, you get to protect them now, right? So whenever you speak up, you speak your truth to the people around you. You are letting your inner child and your inner teen know, I love you. We deserve to speak our truth and live the life we want to live. And whatever happens on this exterior, these people, I will be here, and I will love you, and I will protect you. And we're going to live the life that we came to Unchimaka, Grandmother Earth, to live. And that's it. And I'm just so excited. And what did I say? This is also a channeled song message. It's song called Fuzzy. I'll put in the name, the artist. But that song, she's like, I don't care what you're thinking of me. I'm so fuzzy. doing things that matter to me. And that just hit me so hard because I have held off so long on creating things I want to create because I cared about what the people around me think, how they're going to judge me with what I'm doing. And now I've hit this point where I'm like, who cares? Like in that song alone, she's like, I don't care what you're thinking of me. I'm feeling fuzzy. Like she's feeling great doing what she wants to do in this life. And that's literally why we came here. So if people around you don't support you, they don't like want you just living your life the way you want to live, if you're not hurting other living beings, that's their own journey to go on if they decide to. And then also maybe they're just not aligned with you anymore. Maybe they're not part of your journey anymore. Maybe you just need stronger boundaries with those beings. Whatever feels right for you. But you deserve to feel fuzzy. And I recommend listening to that song. It makes me feel so freaking good. I'm just singing so much of that song because it is scary. The thought of like losing people you love around you, right? But for me, it was scarier living a life where internally I'm in pain and I'm not living, I'm just surviving and being quiet just to keep the peace with the people around me. I'd rather feel fuzzy. Like I would much rather be alone on the outside because I won't be lonely with myself, like my inner child, my inner teen, my spirit guides, my ancestors, everybody will be around me while I'm doing everything I wanted to do. Reading, writing, singing, dancing, creating, painting, everything I've wanted to do in this life. It makes me feel fuzzy, it makes me feel good. Why not do those things? Like if I'm not hurting other living beings, why not do those things? And if the people around you, you end up losing them because you're living your life the way you want to live, they're only meant to be in those seasons that they were in. Live your life. If a door closes, right? You lose some things, you lose some people, whatever it is, you got that space for new. If things no longer align with you, there will be space for what does. I know it's going to be scary. It's going to be scary, but speak your truth. Speak your truth. And whenever you're like, I don't know, imagine little you and teen you, right? What are you going to do? You finally get a protector, and that's you. You going to step up? You going to step up and protect them? Or are you going to sit back and let them keep being hurt? Because you can't speak up. And I'm not trying to bully you. I know it's going to take time. I literally was crying, and it was so messy when I first started speaking my truth. And also, it's going to be new for the people around you. If they're used to you just people pleasing and just saying yes no matter what and giving no matter what, there's going to be a little friction. It's going to be something new for the people around you, especially if they're comfortable with you being a people pleaser. So be ready for that. But you are a warrior. You are a warrior, and your spirit came here to live the life that you want to live. We are infinite. Our spirits are infinite. We come to Unchimaka, Grandmother Earth, to have a human experience. Live it the way you want to live it. As long as you're not hurting other living beings, live your life. Live your life. And we will recover. We will no longer be people pleasers, and we will be filling up our cup. Our cup so much it's overflowing, and everybody's overflowing cups are just pouring into each other, and we're just living our lives. Being us. Yes. Yes. I recommend listening to that song. I'm going to actually listen to it after this, dance a little, sing a little, clean, and clean up my space. I've been mentally struggling a little bit. Allowed myself to have that for a little while, but I learned if I stay too long in my sadness, in my cave, it gets really hard to get out. So I'm peeking out in the sun, cleaning up my space, gonna take a nice cleansing bath and live. We are living. No matter how hard it is, thank you, colonizers. We are living because we are magic. And we're going to embrace our magic. I am very grateful for you for sharing your precious time and energy with me. I hope you have a beautiful day. And I hope you learn how to speak up for yourself. Actually, I know you will. I know you will. And please be kind and gentle to yourself while you're on that journey of learning how to use your voice. And be ready to your throat chakra is going to be clearing out. So you're going to get like nastiness up in your throat. Be ready. Mine's been doing that for years now, but mine has been very blocked. So be ready for that too. Yes. Thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time, Doksha, okay? I'll see you later.